Hello and welcome back, my name's Bantek and this is the first episode that I've put on this channel in quite some time. But I've got something exciting to show everyone today, which is a very simple, very small little game that is essentially a 3x3 combination puzzle, just like the Rubik's Cube here on Roblox. Now I highly recommend anyone who is learning to develop to create small little projects like this. Even if you're working on a big project, just taking the time out to work on something that you're interested in or just want to do to increase your skills in a particular area. And this was just because I like to play with a Rubik's Cube sometimes when I'm thinking at my desk, and I thought it'd be a nice little challenge to recreate that on Roblox. So let's take a look. Okay, so the cube scrambles itself when you first join the game, and then you're given a little GUI here that basically just says to start solving, which will begin the timer, and the move counter with the options that you've selected below. So I'll just stick with all of the defaults now and then show you what they do in a little bit. But to start with, I'll click Start Solving. So you can see a move counter appears at the top along with a timer that's ticking up in seconds. And I left rear view enabled, which essentially puts a little rear view of the cube down here. So as I rotate the cube, you can see that the rear view rotates as well. So that's just showing what's on the back of the cube, and that might help you solve the puzzle. You can also see these arrows as I'm hovering over different parts of the cube. They are essentially where you need to click to move the cube in that direction. They show you which direction it'll move if you left click, and a right click will move it in the opposite direction. So for example here, if I click left, it moves clockwise, and if I right click, it moves anti-clockwise. And you can see that it also tells you your current move over here on the right, which is useful if you're trying to follow an algorithm, to help you know whether you've moved it once or twice clockwise, or whether you've moved it once anti-clockwise. So you can also hear the sound of the cube, which is actually recordings of me with my Rubik's Cube that I've added to this just to make it sound a bit more real. And then you can flip the cube over like this. So let's take a look at some of these options. So you've got the option to enable or disable animations, the guide arrows, rotation labels, rear view, rotation mode, and undo moves. So animations I think is fairly obvious. The animations as you change each side of the cube can be disabled or enabled. They're on by default. I think having them on is easier to see where the cubes move to. I find it quite hard to follow if animations are off. Guide arrows were those sort of arrows and the discs that you saw as I hovered over each different part of the cube, just showing you where that face would move to if you clicked it. Rotation labels was the bit on the side that just showed you the sort of in algorithm terms what the current move that you've done is. So whether it shows R, R dash, R2, that sort of thing. Rear view was that little rear view bit down in the corner, and rotation mode changes how you can rotate the cube. So you'll notice it sort of stayed in plane the whole time. If we change that to free, I'll show you what that does in a moment. And undo moves, if you hit Ctrl Z, it'll undo a move if that's enabled, and it won't count towards your sort of your move score. With that disabled, you'd have to do another move to undo what you just did. So we'll flip all of these to their non-default and see what that looks like. So as you can see, rear view's disappeared. Animations are gone, along with the guide arrows, making it quite hard to follow what's happening. I can rotate it in all dimensions, which makes the cube very much out of plane, and I can't undo my moves. So I prefer to solve with all of these enabled, just makes it a bit easier for a beginner. And there you have the solved puzzle. So at that point it will tell you how many moves you took to solve it, the time taken, and then if you manage to beat your existing high score on the leaderboard, it will let you know here for moves and time. You can then see the leaderboard over here. You can enable and disable different things to see who's on the leaderboard. At the moment it's obviously very empty, just with some test data. And just because of the external data service that I've used to create this leaderboard, I've made it so that you have to just purchase a very sort of low cost game pass for each of those categories, time and moves. The moves one, because there's only 2 leaderboards, is 10 Robux, and the time one, because there's technically 4 leaderboards, is 20 Robux. But you just purchase it once and that's it, you're on the leaderboard for life. And then if you're ready to try again, just click play again. It'll scramble the cube, bring back those options, and you can go again and start solving and try and beat your previous score. So that's Cube Puzzle, nothing too complex, nothing too crazy, just a bit of fun and a side project I wanted to create, and you can play it now on Roblox on the Bantech Systems group. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.